Hello and welcome back to my channel. And just a little reminder before we go ahead. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Let's keep in touch and let's continue a conversation. So I am loving the fact that out of the last couple of videos, I have received emails and DMs that have actually helped me think more, helped me to ruminate. And today this video is coming out of all those emails and DMs. So please keep sending me your questions and comments and feedback. I love that. And if you are open to it, you can put your questions and comments down below after the video so everyone can share it and people can also give their opinions. So today's video is coming from a few of the questions that, were in a sense asking me, why am I not as rich as I would like to be? Why am I facing struggles in my life? Why am I not fulfilled as I would like to be in my relationships? Have I done something bad so that, my karma ensures that I'm going to remain unhappy? And these were all very, very pertinent questions. And I thought that many would have these same questions running through their mind, even though they don't, even though they haven't emailed me or, DM'd me. And so I decided to make this video. One important thing to remember, one important thing to understand is that the results of all actions are experienced by us at one time or the other. The results of all our actions. And why am I stressing on this word all? It means that the results of all my actions, not only the ones that I perform in this incarnation, the results of all my actions, including my actions of past incarnations, have to be experienced by me at some time or the other. I may not experience the results in the lifetime where the action took place. I may experience it in another lifetime. And you may ask, but why? Someone said, that doesn't seem fair to me when I replied to their email. And I understand kind of where he was coming from, that it doesn't seem fair. But that person is looking at this incarnation as this human form, as this vehicle, as the only existence that he has ever had. And you and I know that that is not true. We don't know when our soul journey began. And we certainly don't know when our soul journey shall end. But I know it shall end when we have reached that ultimate stage of spiritual advance. Ultimate. Where we are free of attachments, where we are free of selfishness, where we are free of lust, of greed, of rage, of violence, of judgment. So I am often amused when people tell me that so and so astrologer, so and so whoever has told me that this is my last incarnation. And I look at them and I ask them, honestly, can you tell me that you are absolutely free of all attachment, you are free of all need, all greed, all anger, all judgment, all criticism, all resentment? And of course, every single time the answer has been, no, I'm not. And then I just counter that with one question. How can it be your last incarnation? How can this be your last incarnation? And they kind of are taken aback very often when they hear this. And they look at me and they say, yeah, I kind of understand your question. I'm wondering why that person told me what they did. I am not going to comment on why someone told you what they did. I am just asking you to think when you are told something. Think deeply about it. Sometimes we get so fascinated by what we are told. We are so enamored by the glamour of that statement that we stop being intelligent beings. And we fall for this. This is your last incarnation. I don't know about you. It's certainly not my last. I also know I am very far away from it being my last. One has to be authentic with oneself. If you're not authentic with yourself, who else will you be authentic with? And so we come to this topic for today, for this video. The result of all our actions shall be experienced by us. At some point, we don't know when, we certainly don't know how, but at some point we shall come face to face with the result. And that result shall come to us in a very definite form before we have come to that ultimate stage of our advancement where we can say, yes, this is the last incarnation. I have no attachments, no need for gratification, no need for validation. I know who I am. My ego sheath is so transparent that it's not even there. When we come to that stage, then you can very rightfully, happily, honorably say, this is my last incarnation. It's probably my last incarnation. But till then, karma, which is another word for the result, karma has to be understood and taken into account. Now, whether you think of the result as a punishment or you think of the result as a reward is up to you, is how you are reacting or responding to the event that is coming out of the result. I understand why it might sometimes seem as a punishment. And I understand why sometimes happily it seems like a reward. I understand that. But the fact is, the spiritual fact is that it is neither. It's neither a reward nor a punishment. It is the result. That's it. Let's take a very simple example. you and I are sitting at the same table having the same meal. We are both enjoying the same delicacies. I fill up my plate over and over and over again and eat far beyond the level of my hunger, not really appreciating that maybe I should keep something for you. You, on the other hand, are taking just as much as you need onto your plate, and you're savoring that. And in fact, when you see that my plate is becoming empty, even after I've eaten so much, you might even say, do you want a little more from my plate? So we both get up from that very delicious meal. And you are feeling so satisfied, but you're feeling very comfortable. You're not feeling floaty. You're not burping. You're happy. I, on the other hand, have a very, very poor night of it. My stomach is hurting. I feel like throwing up, burping a lot. Stomach seems distended. I'm just not a happy camper. I wake up in the morning and I tell you, there's something wrong with the meal we ate yesterday. I'm sure the ingredients were of poor quality. And you're surprised and you say, I'm absolutely fine. No, no, no. I say, not at all. Something has to have been wrong. I spent a horrible night. You and I are facing the results of our actions. And I am doing what we all tend to do very often, not taking responsibility. I'm blaming the meal, the ingredients, maybe the chef. I am not taking responsibility that I have indulged in gluttony. And this is really, in a very simple nutshell, this is karma. You know, we are complicating karma. There is so much that spiritual masters and teachers and books and videos and everything tell us about karma. It's become so complicated, and it's done nothing to make people understand what is karma. And that is so important if you have to understand why you and I are facing the realities that we are facing today. We are facing them because they are the results of our actions. Actions that we may have taken in this lifetime and actions that we may have taken in what we call different incarnations. But truly, it's just that we have changed the human costume. The journey of the soul remains the same, uninterrupted. What we receive in our plate of life is what our karma can hold. If all the actions that you have performed bring to you a very large plate, in that large plate you can put in a lot, or brings to you a smaller plate in which you can't put in as much. It is not because someone else with the larger plate is a horrible person, not deserving of the large plate, and that you are the victim. Really, in this lifetime, JadeFire has made me realize if everyone understands only one thing, then there are no victims. Each one shall not only feel more empowered, but they shall do everything in their ability to help and empower others. There are no victims. So let us assume this person that you are judging has a very large plate. This large plate has come to that person due to results of actions of lives that you are not aware of. Now you are aware of their so-called, remember the false value systems that we spoke of in the last video of selfless service? If you haven't seen that video, please see it. You may judge that person's current actions as false, as dishonest, as corrupt, as illegal, as unfair, unjust, cruel, the works. Whatever that person's actions are, if they are not in keeping with their soul advancement, not in keeping with your value system, if they are not in keeping with their soul advancement, spiritual journey, then in the next costume that that person dons on, this large plate shall now be replaced by a smaller plate. If you have a smaller plate than that person's in this lifetime, in this costume, and your actions are inspired by gratitude, by generosity, by compassion, by non-judgmentalism, by empowerment of others, love, spiritual living, then when you change the costume, it is very, very, very likely that your plate shall be a much larger plate. So we get different plates in our lives. We get one plate for relationships, and we get one plate for health, and we get one plate for children, and one plate for family, and one plate for material growth, and one plate for career growth, and one plate for friendships. We have many plates in our lives. It's a whole dinner set. Universe has not given you that dinner set. You have given yourself that dinner set. You have come with that dinner set. When you changed out of your last costume, you left the old dinner set, which had a few chips and cracks in it. And you brought with you a brand new dinner set. But now this being that is caught in this costume and is often forgetful or ignorant of the fact that it is only a costume and that the journey is one, looks at those plates and says, I don't want this dinner set. Why am I being punished by being given this dinner set? Look at the dinner set of that person. Why is mine not as big, as glossy, as ornate as that one? because your karma cannot support it. If you have a very rickety, ill-made table, it will not take the weight of many dishes on it. It may take the weight of only 2 dishes on it. If there is a third dish, it would collapse. But you are the carpenter that made that table. That table has not been gifted to you. That table has not been enforced upon you. You are the carpenter that made that table. You chose the wood. You have your skill set. You use the right or the wrong tools. But you are the carpenter. So someone asked me a very important question, and that was, how can I, because I spoke to them briefly about the karma, and then they said, what do I do then to eliminate this karma and therefore enjoy plenitude in my life? And that's a very pertinent question. And the answer, of course, is that we have to work upon the karma. I've already, in a sense, given you that answer, but I elaborate upon it here. My actions of today will most certainly play a very significant role in the plate I bring with me when I'm wearing my next costume. If I can keep that in mind, I can stop myself from envy, jealousy, lust, rage, judgmentalism, resentment, bitterness, dishonesty, cheating, betrayal, harming others. If I can live this incarnation, in that I am wearing this costume for, if I can live this incarnation, keeping in mind my spiritual advance. In that one sense, I'm asking you to be completely selfish. Focus on nothing but your spiritual advancement. Because you see, when you focus upon your spiritual advancement, automatically, without trying, without making so much effort, which I see some people make, you will be freeing yourself from attachment, you will be serving selflessly, you will be grateful, you will be kind and compassionate, you will be empathetic, you will be generous, you will be filled with love for yourself and for others. So focus exclusively upon your soul advancement, upon your spiritual journey. Everything else is a very natural byproduct of that focus. But when you focus upon, I don't have, he has, she has, but why? He doesn't deserve. She is this way, that. I have such a strong scarcity mindset then. And where my focus is, that's where my energy goes. And where my energy goes, that's what manifests. So when I'm constantly focusing on, I don't have what others have, there's so much envy and there's so much jealousy and there's so much bitterness and anger and rage and violent thoughts and false value systems. That's where my energy is. And that is what continues to manifest in my life. But the sad truth is, not only does it continue to keep that plate small in your current incarnation, it might in fact make this plate much smaller in your next incarnation, in your next costume. So if you want to enjoy the fruits of this world, and they are meant to be enjoyed. They are not meant to be lusted after. They are meant to be enjoyed. So whatever money you have, enjoy it. You don't have money for luxuries? No problem. Enjoy the comforts. You don't have money for comforts? No problem. Be grateful for the necessities that surround you, that you do have. You don't have a relationship? No problem. Enjoy the friendships that you do have. Enjoy the pets that you have. Go out and be a friend to someone who may not have a friend. So you see, there's always opportunity for you to be grateful. And I think there is that very trite saying, count your blessings. And that is what it is. You are counting your blessings by this complete, constant attitude of gratitude. And out of that gratitude comes compassion, because you are so grateful for everything. That's where your energy is. Because that's where your focus is. And out of your energy focus comes manifestation of good things. And maybe the plate that you have in front of you today may not increase in this incarnation, but it shall increase in the next incarnation. And it's not a waste of time. It's not about, oh, L is doing this, so L should enjoy it. L doesn't even really exist. This costume is called L. But what this costume does, what this L does, affects the journey of the soul. And I think that's why we struggle so much. This is not as important as our soul. But this determines the steps, the journey, the advancement, the progress of the soul. And so, not being as important as the soul, it is still very important. And this costume consists of our mind, our brain, our hearts, our thoughts, our bodies, our emotions, our feelings, our judgments, all of it. And so we have to ensure that all of this physical package, can be functioning at its optimal level, keeping in mind that I am doing nothing really for this costume. I am doing it all for the soul, for my spirit, for my spiritual advancement. I am doing it for that ultimate step when this and everything that is affected by this and everything that affects this itself is all meaningless. That is why those Himalayan sages can live for years without even having a bite of food. This is not important to them anymore. It's done. So work upon your gut. Don't knock the plate. You may fight as much as you want. That plate that you have brought with you with this costume is going to remain that plate. Years ago, I had one of the most beautiful persons I have seen come to me. She again came to me for many years, in fact, till she passed. She was truly one of the most beautiful persons I have ever met. And she inspired me, even though she continually told me that I was her mentor and her motivator. She was my inspiration. Over her lifetime, she had suffered from all kinds of diseases ever since she was a child. And she came to me when she must have been in her early 60s, maybe. And over many years, she was struggling with cancer, and it had come and gone, and then she had it again. And someone had told her about the soul chart reports that I create for people, which tells you your soul journey. If you're interested in that, you can go to my website and read about that. And her soul chart report was quite striking because it very clearly showed that she had brought with herself the smallest plate in the area of health. She had brought a very large plate in the area of creativity, in the area of love and service, in the area of relationships, but the smallest plate in the area of health. And we realized when we both looked at the chart report together that she, her soul, had decided that in this incarnation, she would use this area of health in order to meet all the results of her actions. And once she knew that, she looked at me and she said, I found what I was looking for. I am never going to ask you if I shall heal from this cancer. Will this cancer kill me? Will I suffer from something else? I'm not interested in that. Now, I am going to come to you only to spiritually grow. And you shall be my mentor for that. And we spent 4 or 5 joyous years together before she left so suddenly without a goodbye. Just decided it was time. Not that she was ailing any more or any less than she had been in the last so many years. But I know that her plate in all areas of her life, in her next costume, shall be large platters. Because that was her exclusive focus for the last few years of her life. Exclusive. She didn't complain about that small plate that never became bigger. Never. She spent every day, every moment of every day being grateful for all the riches she had in other areas of her life. sharing those riches with anyone who desired to share with her, using her life to write beautiful poetry and empowering others through that. Most beautiful human. And that's how you work upon your karma. You do not focus on the small plate. You focus on the journey. You focus on the journey with gratitude, with hope, with faith, with belief. There are so many who think if I build a temple, I shall get more blessings. If I give so much gold, I shall get more blessings. If I go to the temple every day and give this to the deity, I shall get more blessings every day. No. That which you might be calling God or Lord or universe or deity or prophet, whatever you're calling that, does not need anything from you. When will we learn this? That divinity is so 100% itself. There is not even a small cellular space of vacuum that you can fill. So what you are giving to that temple, please continue giving. If you want to build a temple, please continue building. You are not doing it for this so-called God, Lord, deity, universe. You're doing it for you. And if you are doing it for you out of an ulterior motive of getting something in return, it is making your karmic plate smaller and not bigger. But if you are doing that out of gratitude, thank you that I have so much and I'd love to share that with you so that through you it can go to others, your plate becomes bigger. It's your intention that brings you your blessings, not your grafts and your bribes, not your pleas and your begging. None of it works. Only your right actions work. Only your focus upon your spiritual advancement works. Don't focus on the smaller plates. Be grateful for the larger ones. Don't expect the results of your current actions to always be in your current costume. Some very, very likely shall be in another costume. Don't fight against the smaller plates. Understand why they are smaller. And don't be ashamed of them. Don't carry that burden of guilt. Just recognize that, okay, somewhere I messed up. We're all human beings. We mess up somewhere, sometime, somehow we do. So, okay, I messed up. This is a small plate, but I have 3 other big plates. I'm so grateful for that. Only out of that gratitude shall stem the right actions. And out of those actions shall come the blessings. All the blessings that can be supported by your karma in this costume shall come to you. May your plate always be happy and full. And when it is not, may your focus be upon drawing to yourself happiness and fullness. big hug and all my